Ant-Man and the Wasp. Yes, the Wasp is finally featured in this movie, and she gets to put on her gear and go kick some serious ass. Now, is it better than the first movie? In my opinion, I don't really think so. It is a solid addition into the MCU, though. One of the main things I really liked about this movie is the relationship between Scott Lang, Paul Rudd's character, and Cassie. I don't know the name of the young actress who plays her. They just have an adorable relationship, and she herself is just adorable, and she really shines on screen, and she actually gets quite a bit of some screen time in this movie. Now, another character who shines in this film is not Ant-Man, it's the Wasp. I said that previously. Evangeline Lilly, I can barely pronounce her name. Great name, by the way. Kate from Lost. She's great in that show, and she's great in this movie. She was awesome in the first one. She really gets to shine in this film. She is completely badass. She has guns and is able to fly, and as a Paul Rudd's character is like, whoa, you didn't have that technology for me? He's like, no, I did. You're just not good enough to use it. Only she is. Now, one thing that I want them to dive into further, no pun intended, is the quantum realm. And they do that in this film. They really get into it, and it's just so fascinating. And it's just like something kind of like in a Doctor Strange type movie, and it's just got all these like cool visuals, and just to see the characters in there, it's amazing. That's not a spoiler. You see it clearly in the trailers. It's also in the first movie. And the quantum realm is one of the most fascinating aspects of this, I guess you can say, film series in the MCU of the Ant-Man and the Wasp, and if they dive into that further, they really got something going. Now, this movie is clearly a Marvel movie. They have connections with, MCU-related stuff. I'm not going to get into any specifics, because that would be spoiler territory. And this is a non-spoiler review. And yeah, I mean, but the best part of this film is that they don't dive too much into the connections with the MCU. It's its own film, and I love it for that, because the MCU was founded basically on solo films that tied in slightly with other films, and that's what made these movies great. And then they have a team up every once in a while, like every 10 years. Now, guys, those are all my positives. I know it doesn't really seem like a lot, but I do have some negatives with this film, and we're going to get into those right now. Thanos. Oh, I got him right here. Thanos, Avengers Infinity War. One of the greatest villains ever put to screen besides Darth Vader and Heath Ledger's Joker, in my opinion. He is one of the best villains ever put to screen, and of course he is. He was built up for 10 years in the MCU, and he's multi-layered. You can see what he's doing. You understand his motives, and some people actually root for Thanos in Avengers Infinity War. However, I don't, but I can at least understand why he's doing all these terrible things. However, the villain in Ant-Man and the Wasp, I just didn't really care for that much. I understood the motives, but I did not see the villain that much as a threat. If just see the movie and you'll know what I'm talking about. Another small problem I have in this film, actually a big problem, because they're featured in this film quite a lot, and it was one of the main things I liked about the first film, is Scott Lang's posse. The other three dudes, I don't know their names because didn't really care about them this much in the movie. They're mostly comedic reliefs, and a lot of their jokes are funny, and I laughed at a lot of them. They're really good jokes in this movie. There's one point where I just cracked up laughing. I'm not going to tell you guys. But yeah, they just seem more like comedic reliefs. And they had some stuff to do. I mean, there's just a little stuff to do. But not that much. They were just there for jokes. And honestly, it's fine because they have T.I. on their team. You crazy! I'm going to say the F word here. Murder me! This movie is fun. And the reason why I give it that kind of negative tone is because when I asked my friends how they felt about a movie after coming out of it, they're like, bro, it was like, not that good of a movie, but, it was fun, bro. I'm just like, well, did you like the movie or not? I'm like, well, it was fun. So clearly, I had a fun time watching this movie. I'm going to be that guy right there. It's its own self-contained story. I had a great time watching it on screen, and it's a good installment into the MCU, and I had no problems with it, besides those little nitpicks that I told you guys earlier. If you guys want to go see this movie, definitely go watch it. I can't wait for Captain Marvel. That is a movie I'm really anticipating. I was like, after Avengers Infinity War, I'm like, Ant-Man and the Wasp, that's going to be a fun movie. It's the comedic tone in the MCU, and now we have Captain Marvel and the universe, and just expanding the Marvel MCU universe with Guardians of the Galaxy and all that stuff. Anyway, guys, we're not talking about Captain Marvel, we're talking about Ant-Man and the Wasp. So please, go watch Ant-Man and the Wasp. I had a fun time watching this movie, and you will too.